Habari Entertainment proudly presents Habari Live.
Habari Live.
From Phoenix, Arizona. And you're listening to the Habari Live podcast. The show that brings you news, sports, and entertainment for people who love HabariEntertainment.com. Here are your hosts, Aisha, Jimmy, and Damon Dipleen Ellison. Let's get it going. We are all the way live.
Hey, another morning, another day, Habari Live. Let's get it going, man. This is a great Saturday. But good morning. Habari Ghana, my people. We are thrilled to bring you the latest edition of Habari Live, your go-to podcast for the pulse of Phoenix and beyond. As always, we are all the way live in Paradise Valley in Phoenix, Arizona. I am Damon Ellison and my co-host,
Aisha.
We will be your guide through the exciting stories and everyday happenings in our vibrant community, your weekly dose of inspiration, innovation, and insightful conversations from the heart of our city, man. But first, let's, why is that still in there? But yeah, man, so it's been a crazy week, crazy week. Another week of battles in the White House and with the media, and we saw the last days of Stephen Colbert, him shutting down because Trump can't take a fucking joke, and the First Amendment is under attack. And I'm surprised to see a lot of conservatives celebrating him closing down. You know, I had a guy tell me that it was hate speech that Colbert was speaking. So he's supposed to be off air because it was hate speech. Like, coming from these people, man, that is rich.
Mm-hmm.
That is rich. But, you know, that's what we're getting, man. But it's hilarious, you know, to see people being taken off air, and CBS, who's not doing a great job. You know, their ratings are in the tubes. You know, trying to push towards a more conservative outlook when you've spent decades being a news that was kind of centered in just telling the truth, not trying to be left or right wing, just telling the truth, just going after the stories that matter and that people want to hear. But, you know, throw that all out the window, and now we're just going to be a right-wing news that talks about what goes on in right-wing circles. So bad decisions, and they're going to pay the prices for those things. And they'll see as people get fired, get let go, and they'll have to change direction because that shit ain't going to work. Nobody wants to watch that shit. But anyway, let's move into the top stories for the week. What you got, Aisha?
Yes. Good morning. First up, Congresswoman Nancy Mace is facing backlash after unveiling a proposed constitutional amendment that would require members of Congress, federal judges, and Senate confirmed officials to be natural-born U.S. citizens. The proposal would effectively bar naturalized citizens from serving in those specific positions, where critics are calling the move discriminatory and politically motivated, while supporters say that it's about national loyalty and constitutional consistency. And the amendment would face an uphill battle, needing approval from at least 2/3 of Congress and ratification by the states.
Yeah, just goofy shit. All the problems that we have right now, and they're still having cultural battles about dumb shit. Who they want to be able to run for Senate because they don't like the brown people that are representatives. It's garbage. We have big problems, man. We have big issues in America, and they're still focused on these cultural issues because these things still gets people's attentions, which is crazy. These are things some people focus on. Their whole life is built on these things. Their anger, everything that they care about is built on stupid shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want people that aren't citizens to be able to run for office. And that, I mean, that's craziness. Just because they weren't born here, they can be here most of their life. They came here at 10 or 11. they should be able to run for office. I don't think you can be president though, because I think you have to be a natural born citizen for that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you can. You could run for office, but I know you can't run for the highest office. But you can be a representative of your area, because just because you're not, you may be from Chinatown, and a lot of people that's in your area are from China. They're immigrants. So
Mm-hmm.
you want people to be able to represent that area, and it may be a person who was not naturally born here, but that doesn't matter because he still has to represent those people who has a voice because they are Americans and they live here. You know, it's just a way, man. These people trying to push for white supremacy still, man, in 2026, and it's ridiculous, man.
Right.
Everybody's not everybody, because a lot of people love this shit, but anyone with a brain is sick of this bullshit, man. Like, why are we playing these racial games in the world where they keep on saying that everything is supposed to be post-racial? We got Tim Scott. There's no such thing as racism, he says. You know, and then we got people doing shit like this. Let's ban people from who aren't naturally born here from running from office.
Right.
It's goofy shit. Waste of time.
It
It is not gonna pass, but we'll see what happens.
You're right. Exactly. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court of the United States has ordered lower courts to revisit rulings that limited enforcement of the Voting Rights Act. The case centers around whether or not private citizens and advocacy groups can continue filing lawsuits under Section 2 of the landmark civil rights law, while voting rights advocates are saying that the decision keeps a critical enforcement tool alive for now, especially for Black and Native American communities. Challenging election maps and voting rights restrictions going forward may be a little difficult.
Sucks, man. It sucks bad. You know, I thought these fights were over. I thought, you just think that these things are over with.
Mm-hmm.
This was a fight that was decided in the 60s, man. These are the things that Martin Luther King marched for, and we're still fighting for this dumb shit. It's so
Right.
stupid. But hopefully that there'll be a path forward lawfully that they can keep fighting, because this is ridiculous. And I heard a lot of people online saying, "Oh, you could still vote. They didn't take your vote away from you. They just took away the Democrat stronghold." Like, what the dog? This is crazy coming from Republicans.
Yeah, it is.
The people who run the entire South with a stronghold, they still have a stronghold on the entire South.
Right.
They got a stronghold on North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa. They got a stronghold on most of these places, man. So for them to fix their face and talking about a neighborhood that has we can vote the fuck we want to. You can't tell us which way to go. We don't tell you motherfuckers that y'all can't vote Republican. The entire South we bleed Republican. That's what y'all about. We don't try to tell y'all not to vote for y'all motherfuckers. Why is it always telling y'all trying to tell us who we can and can't vote for? Who we can and can't have to represent our neighborhoods? It's a Democrat stronghold. Good afternoon. What's up, Richard? It's not this shouldn't be about who we vote for. And that's the thing. They're making it about politics.
Mm-hmm.
And we're making it about race because we feel as though you're attacking a group and splitting that group up to take away their power to be able to put one representative. Just one. I hope so, man. I appreciate it. That's what we're doing it for. The problem is, Mr. Tyler Wolf, I don't understand why I have to explain it to you. That's good you're not a Republican. Most people are independents. But the problem is you want people to be able to vote in people that they want for their area. When you dilute their vote and split up their area in different districts, that takes away their representation of their city. The city should have been one district, one or two, And those people should be able to vote in whoever they want. If it's a Republican, that's fine. If it's a Democrat, that's fine. It just should be someone should know, and from the Republican side, how racist this is. But they're loving this, and and Donald Trump is their leader right now, and they love to be able to push the buttons of the Black community. And a lot of people are feeling pride right now because they've taken away something that they really never thought Black people should have had anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's fine. We'll keep fighting.
Most definitely. In immigration news, the Department of Homeland Security says that many green card applicants inside the United States will now be required to return to their home country in order to complete the application process. Immigration attorneys are warning that the policy change could create major disruptions for families and workers who are already living in the U.S., while the administration says that the move is intended to tighten immigration screening and enforcement proceedings. So you're going to make people who are already here, who've already started the process for applying for their green card, to now go back to their home countries in order to complete the application.
Stupid shit, bro. I mean, I guess the mission is to have it as least people as possible sign up to become Americans. I mean, that's their mission. Their mission is to have no one sign up. How many people are going to be able to afford to fly back to their home country, wait for the green card to come back,
right,
and then fly back to America? Not many people are going to have that. But this is the mission. The mission is to cut off all immigration. This has been the new. This is a movement across Europe. We see it in South Africa. We see it in a lot of places where they feel as though resources are being taken from them, and those resources that's being taken is from the immigrants, and they're the problem. Even though America and most of these countries are built on immigrants coming in, doing work and bringing crops and doing other things to help the countries that they're coming to. And yeah, right. They right. You're exactly right, Richard. They help a lot of communities, and across the world, they've done a lot to help people and to try to make places better that they go to. And now the end thing is to demonize them, to make them the reasons for all of the issues that they faced in the world. So now it's they're looking at them. They're saying this: the housing problem is their fault. The pricing problem is their fault. The job problems is their fault. They're taking all the aid and SNAP benefits, and it's all their fault. Everything's their fault. So we kick them out, and they can't be born here. We're going to talk about that more, about birthright citizenship. Mm-hmm. They're trying to take away. They're trying to take away your path to citizenship and green cards. They're trying to take away the ability for people to come here from certain countries. They've already blocked that. So they want a net zero when it comes to immigration. Is the mission. Now, like I've always said, we already have negative birth rate when it comes to kids being born. The birth rates are going the opposite direction. So how much growth will America have, and will we end up like these European countries that's having negative growth, and how will that affect the economy? I know a lot of people, they just want everything to stop. They don't want all these brown people to stop coming here, taking the jobs, and it's all their fault. But what happens when we start seeing negative production, negative growth, no new jobs? The economy, how will it react to this over the years? We'll see, man. And the boomers are just getting older. So, and they're still one of the biggest groups in the world, in the country. Mm-hmm. So what do we do? How do they make my community stronger by diluting people? They don't make it stronger. They make it weaker by diluting the demographic, and taking the demographic and breaking it up amongst 3 or 4 different districts so they can be weak in those districts that they are put in, but they would be strong if you would have left their district alone, and they would be able to vote together to be able to put in people that they want to represent them, whoever that is. Oh, okay, Tyler. I guess. Man. But anyways, what else you got?
I know, right? In Minnesota, the former leader of a nonprofit connected to one of the nation's largest pandemic fraud investigations has been sentenced to nearly 42 years in prison. Prosecutors say that the scheme stole millions of dollars meant to feed the children during COVID-19, and federal officials called the fraud one of the largest COVID relief scams uncovered so far. Um, so the lady's name is Amy Bach, and she's going to serve 42 years for committing fraud in Minnesota.
You know, we don't have a picture of her, but you know, we talked about this at that time.
We did.
That this was a white lady was the ringleader of this, and Trump talking about the Somali people like trash. You know, he blaming them for everything, talking about how terrible they are and they need to be out of the country. Everybody tried to normalize and downplay as this guy demonizes a whole entire group of people in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Then it comes out it's a white lady. That's the one that's the ringleader.
Right.
She's the one that's going around probably defrauding a lot of these people that are coming to her, doing all type of things, and she's white. Then the crickets come. Here come the crickets.
Mm-hmm.
Now they don't have anything to say. Like, it's so ridiculous, man. They want to demonize this whole group of people, man. Talk about how bad they are. The president of the United States talk trash about a community that he presides over. It's unbelievable that this is happening today. But he talked trash about those people. Now that it's a white lady that's the leader of the group, no one has anything to say. No words now.
Yeah.
You're not going to say anything that she got 40 years because she is the one that was doing everything, doing all this shit, manipulating people. Quick to blame the Somali population. Quick to demonize them, talk down about them, call them trash.
Mm-hmm.
But now the rebuttal, when the truth comes out, who really was the one that was stealing all the money, no one has anything to say. This is the hypocrisy of the Republican Party. That really gets annoying.
It is. You're right. And finally, a federal judge has dismissed the criminal indictment against Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The case had drawn national attention amid broader debates over immigration enforcement and due process. And prosecutors have not yet said whether or not they plan on appealing the ruling, but we know how it's going to go. It's Trump's administration. He's going to try to do anything to... This was the case that he was hinging everything on. He wanted this guy to be put behind bars, so I expect them to appeal.
He put this dude, Kilmar Garcia, through hell, fucking with this man's life. Once he kicked him out, he put this case on him. Then the case gets thrown out. Every judge has thrown it out. Every judge has said, let him stay. I don't know if these people in Trump's corner understand what the law is. They do such a horrible job of interpreting. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They lose every fucking case. Every judge throws their shit out. Thrown out. Pile. Thrown out. Pile. Just everything thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all don't know what the fuck do y'all, what are y'all doing over there? You're just listening to Trump? And that's what you could tell, that they're just listening to him saying, I want them done. Letitia James, thrown out. Like case after case after case after case. And then they have the gall to be like, well, we're going after the SPLC. It looks like they're funding hate. This case about to be thrown out like every other case that these people have brought forth. They obviously don't know the fucking law. Their lawyers obviously are just listening to Trump say, go after the people that I want going after. Because the law would make them make a different decision if they're going after people for putting 86, 47, Comey. Like all of their cases are really goofy. And I'm really embarrassed for the administration that the things that they have put forth when it comes to the law, and it looks really bad. And then they're talking about weaponization of the that's happened to the January 6ers,
right?
That Biden did. Like, dog, it's ridiculous, and people are falling for this mess. We are in 1984, the novel. We're living it today. And these people tell you what you're seeing is not what you're seeing. As these people dilute, putting something in your drink to make you think something different than what's really going on. These people are the red pill and the blue pill. And they making you just see all the illusions. Mm-hmm. Shit's disgusting, man. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't understand. Go ahead.
That's it.
Yeah, so we're going to run a couple videos, man, because what happened this week, racism, radicalization, and accountability, and political chaos, craziness from the Trump administration again. It's just been, I mean, dude, anybody that supports Trump should be embarrassed this week. You should, like I say all the time, you should wear bags over your head. Because you've put forth a person that has put our country in the worst position it's been in probably ever. The way we look on the global scale, we can't even win versus our own. We can't outsmart Iran. They're outsmarting us. Like, we look like idiots. Yeah, we're all powerful, but a lot of it is mental, man. A lot of it is outsmarting the people that you're going versus. And they're getting outsmarted because they've gotten rid of all the smart people to bring in cronies and people who will do anything to be under Trump. That's not the best and the brightest
at all.
That's the dumb and the dullest coming in, following everything this guy said. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. A yes man. No one that can think for themselves. Anybody with a brain would have told Trump, hey, man, this money, this $1.776 billion that you're trying to get at January 6th, it's a bad idea. It's not a good idea. You're going to get killed in the media, but he doesn't give a fuck. You know, his loyalty are to those who are the white supremacists and the Proud Boys that attacked the Capitol. Those are his homies. Right? He feels for them. And he want to make sure that they are good. We're going to see a couple clips here. And a couple people are going to say some things, like things about reparations. Because a lot of these same people tell us how reparations can come to black people and never should have. The black community never should have got but these people should? You're going to tell me that the wrong, all these people running into the fucking Capitol, they were wronged? Like, it's insane. Well, first we're going to play this Cornel West video and him talking about the disgracefulness of Trump fixing their face to say that they're going to pay January 6th attackers, insurrectionists, traitors, pay them money for the time and the hard time that they went through.
There's no integrity in justifying $1.8 billion of people who engaged in criminal activity actually killed some policemen. And they get compensated, they get reparations, and black folk, indigenous folk, other folk, unfair, even white brothers and sisters who have gone to jail innocent, who deserve some kind of accountability. There's no way you can justify this. But this is just one peak of an iceberg. What we're seeing is spiritual sickness, moral decrepitude, and political corruption on steroids. But the good news is you still got folk in the country who are trying to exemplify some integrity and character and courage.
Peter, is there, and to you also, Sabrina, is there a way to fight this? Because there has to be someone who's injured by this, right? So that the public, the general public, who say, hey, these are my tax dollars, they're not really considered
Oh, if
victims
only
of
the
this.
taxpayers had a claim against frivolous spending by the government. That would be a wonderful thing to have. No, I mean, the Trump administration is going about this all wrong. The way you're supposed to do is you're supposed to have folks set up a nonprofit, and then you either have a company do the third-party payments into the federal government for leniency, or you just allocate tax dollars from like the Inflation Reduction Act, and that goes to your political allies. That's how you button it up, you make it legal, and you avoid all of this. But to your point, like on the historic discrimination, I mean, there was $2 billion in the Inflation Reduction Act that was allocated for black farmers in the South who had been historically discriminated against by the USDA. Like, there have been tons of programs that have done this. I think there's a very legitimate claim, and let's be very clear, I agree with Scott. We're not talking about, and if they are, I condemn it, money going to folks who violently assaulted police officers. I know folks who were at January 6th, broke no laws except they were on the side of an invisible line, did not enter any building, were not violent, you know, whose lives were upended and ruined, where other folks who were maybe not at the same political persuasion, who had committed, you know, similar minor offenses, weren't even charged or didn't even have those charges brought up. So I think it's important that there is parity. And if there was an overcorrection or an exertion in one direction, that tilt.
Every word that dude just said is garbage. What the fuck are we gonna give people money for because they was walked into a building they knew they wasn't supposed to be in? Are you guys want to give the people who were at the George Floyd riots and the buildings that were burnt up, are they owed money? Because all of them, a lot of them, especially here in Phoenix, they were arrested, given charges. Some of them was called a gang because somebody came in and started burning up stuff. Is that everybody's fault? What about the people who was just there? Should they get money now? You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. You shouldn't have walked your motherfucking ass in there. I don't give a fuck what capacity you were there. You shouldn't have went in there. You knew that was wrong. And all these people that keep on acting like, oh, it was no big deal. Just a few cops killed themselves. Few people died. A few people have PTSD from what happened. But you know, the cops that was there that day, they're suing. They're not going to let this. They're going to sue and block this money from coming to these motherfuckers. To sit here and act like, oh yeah, they deserve money because they went and broke the fucking law. Get the fuck out of here. All the people that have went to jail for shit they didn't do. And it's all the time. We see it all the time. People spend 20, 30, 40 years in jail. And you're trying to tell me these people deserve something and they actually did the crime?
Right. And they deserve to get paid for doing that crime?
And my tax dollars, this shit is crazy. I can't believe anybody's with this shit. But next, let's listen to AOC. No, that's not. It's not AOC. I don't think. It's go down. Coons. Yeah.
Here, President Trump is the first president to sue his own government and then direct his chosen acting attorney general to reach this kind of settlement. Will you commit that none of President Trump's family will receive a direct payout from this fund?
Yes, but what you just said is not true. I mean, if I can correct that.
Please.
The president did not direct me to do anything. And secondly, when we said it was that the structure of the commission is similar to Keep Siegel, that's true. It wasn't the case. The underlying case is not the same. The structure of the commission is the same as the Keep Siegel commission.
Has it ever happened that a sitting president sued his own government for $10 billion and then directed the settlement of the case and the establishment of a payout fund?
Not that I'm aware, but there's a lot of things that President Trump's the first of. No president had been indicted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Correct.
6, 7, 8 times either.
Correct. No president's been indicted. And will you commit that none of this money will go to President Trump's campaign donors?
I am not committing to anything beyond the settlement agreement itself. When you say campaign donors, that they are not excluded from seeking compensation.
Not excluded from seeking compensation.
This shit is a goddamn disgrace. And the fact that MAGA can be happy about money going to these people after they yelled and screamed for years how black people shouldn't get reparations because they had nothing to do with it. But my tax dollars can go to these motherfuckers. I ain't got nothing to do with this shit. Right. I wasn't there on January 6th in the fucking insurrection. I had nothing to do with it. Why the fuck does 1.776 billion of my dollars go to that bullshit? They always holler, well, I didn't have any slaves. My grandpa didn't have them. So we play reparations. It's ridiculous, dude. Same bullshit when it comes to them. It's always fucking different. It's always a different story. These pieces of shit don't deserve nothing. That's what they deserve. Absolutely nothing. Go down. It's another one I want to play. There you go.
The Justice Department has this new fund that was announced today, $1.7 billion. Yeah. Why should taxpayers pay for the January?
Well, but this is reimbursing people that were horribly treated. It's anti-weaponization. They've been weaponized. And they worked on it. I know the Justice Department, it's really been working on it very hard. There's been numerous other occasions over the years where things like this have been done, but these were people that were weaponized and really treated brutally by a system that was so corrupt, with corrupt people running it, and they're getting reimbursed for their legal fees and the other things that they had to suffer.
Black Americans have never received federal reparations for slavery. Not for Jim Crow, not for stolen labor, not for redlining, not for Black Wall Street being burned to the ground. Nothing. But do you know who did get paid? Enslavers. Under the D.C. Compensated Emancipation Act, slave owners were paid up to $300 per enslaved person for the loss of their human property. The people who were enslaved got nothing. Then Black people built anyway. They built communities like Greenwood, Black Wall Street, and America let white mobs destroy it. Now fast forward. Trump's administration has created a nearly $1.776 billion fund that could allow Trump allies and January 6th insurrectionists to apply for payouts and apologies. So let me get this straight. Black people can survive centuries of government-backed oppression and be told reparations are unrealistic. But insurrectionists may get taxpayer-funded compensation? Y'all really got us fucked up. America always finds money when it wants to. Just never for the people it actually owes.
Yep.
Always.
Every time.
That's the way it is. And they don't have any problem with it. What? I don't understand. You got $2 billion to give to these motherfuckers who attacked the Capitol. But you sitting around telling us for a century, oh, we ain't got it. We don't have that money. We reparations. You guys don't deserve this.
We had nothing to do with it, so why should we pay you guys money?
She missed one with the crack epidemic.
Yep, she did.
And the crack epidemic was in the 80s, and how Reagan put crack in the neighborhoods, him and Oliver North, Iran-Contra, how that shit went down, the Contras, and who know, people know what happened to the Black community because of that. You know what happened. And then the decisions that Democrats made and Black leaders made, the Black caucus, to put the high years to make sure that Black men be in jail for life for little bitty amounts of crack.
Right.
You know how this decimated those neighborhoods. And they did nothing. They didn't do anything like they did for what's going on with the fentanyl, how they're giving people help and donating money and putting money towards it. There was nothing done except policing and cracking heads. Then they look at you like, oh, well, hey, you guys don't deserve anything. But this is what happens every single time. Our neighborhoods gets no money. They get $0
after being burned down.
They get zero funding. We want a representative of our neighborhood for he can fight, but they know it's been losing forever because our black neighborhoods never get the funding from the state that they need. The funding always go to the same rich areas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn. Why can't these other people get help? Let's play this Jasmine Crockett video here.
When people on that side of the aisle claim that they love law and order, they went through it. They either entered pleas of guilty or they were found guilty. And this president, on day one, his priority was not around racism. It was around doing things like letting them go and now putting money in their pockets. We haven't had one hearing on white supremacy. Yet when we look at things like the killing of Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, the 9 worshipers who were murdered at the Mother Emanuel AME Church, the 23 people murdered in 2019 during a shooting at Walmart in El Paso, the 10 people murdered during the 2022 shooting at a grocery store in Buffalo, New York, all of these were murdered by white supremacists who were empowered by the Republican Party's racist rhetoric and policies. This is the same party that wants to drag us back to the Jim Crow era. Some say that there aren't poll taxes, and I guess it's because they're not listing the amount of money. But when you tell somebody that they've got to go and pay for something, say, like a passport that costs over $100 in order to be able to vote, that looks like a poll tax to me. Some of y'all need to read up on your history books, the very same ones that the Republicans have decided that people should not hear about, because you don't want real history taught in our schools because you're afraid that it's going to hurt people's feelings to know that their ancestors were so savage that they would enslave black folk. You don't want them to understand why the 14th Amendment mattered then and it matters today. You don't want them to understand that when they draw these racist lines and tell black folk that they shouldn't have representation in this country, that it is against the Constitution. You want them to be ignorant so that they can sit up here and be your token for your mission.
Expired.
We sick of the bullshit, man. We sick of the racism shit. Shit's getting old, man. The shit's getting old.
Very old.
Motherfuckers have lived through this shit over and over and over, man. People are just getting over it. We always talk about equality, and we have half of the country that just doesn't want to hear it. Half of the country that just feels as though they don't really give a fuck. And it's outrageous, man.
Mm-hmm.
So Republicans are saying, hold up. We are doing acting Attorney General Blanche is facing major pushback over this nearly $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund created to compensate Trump allies who claim they were politically targeted. Critics are calling it a slush fund, and lawsuits have already been filed to block the stupid payout. And here's the part that should make every taxpayer stop and ask questions. Officials have not clearly ruled out whether January 6th defendants, who have already been pardoned, including people connected to the violence at the Capitol, could benefit from this money and become millionaires for breaking the law.
That's crazy. So let's be clear. Those same people who say that reparations are impossible because I didn't own slaves, or that was just so long ago, and they're now entertaining the idea that taxpayer money should go towards people who were connected to January 6th, essentially giving them reparations.
Right.
But we weren't there on January 6th. We didn't break the windows. We didn't storm the Capitol. We didn't attack democracy. So why should our tax dollars go to clean up their mess?
Right.
Why should we pay them reparations for what they did?
For what they went through. They don't give a fuck about what anyone else in the world went through. These are the same people who saying you don't need social safety nets. You don't need government handouts. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. They don't care about anyone else's problems, but we supposed to give a fuck about theirs? And let our tax dollars go to them so they can be okay because they lost some money for being at January 6th. When you saw the mob start entering the building, I think you should have went the other way. But the fact that you didn't, and now you had to go to court, that's on you. Just like you would say, if any other mob that was full of black people, you would take them all out. You would be talking about kill them all. Shoot them. That's what y'all would be saying if that mob was black. Why didn't they kill them? But because it was a whole bunch of pink people, it's all good. Like, dog, I just don't get it, man. I'm just so confused over the bullshit.
You just called them pink people.
It's bullshit, man. What are we doing? The president, they need this money. They were weaponized. It was weaponization. Like, he's a fucking idiot. But the hypocrisy, it gets a lot thicker. When Black Americans talk about reparations for centuries of slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, crack infestation, stolen labor, and stolen wealth, suddenly everybody becomes a constitutional scholar. Suddenly, where will the money come from? But when it's Trump's allies, when it's people who broke the law and claimed they were targeted, now they can find almost $2 billion. Mm-hmm. And to the guy who said the government didn't make the black people smoke crack, the government didn't make you motherfuckers take the fentanyl. The government didn't make y'all start overdosing on that shit. But the government still tried to help y'all. It's all type programs trying to help people get off the fentanyl. They've sued the fucking the
pharmaceutical companies
and given these people money who were
affected
by it and who were overdosing, who were addicted to these drugs. Nobody made them take all the drugs that they were taking. Now the doctors subscribed it, but they would go overboard.
Yep.
They're doing more pills than they're supposed to do. They're selling the pills to their homies. Come on, man. And then you're going to, but when it was on crack, it was just on black people. But on this, everybody gets help. Right. When it comes to the fentanyl and all the other things that was going on. Mm-hmm. Quit it.
You're right. And the Republicans are not just mad because it's wrong. Some of them are mad because it's politically dangerous here. Senate Republicans are reportedly erupted behind closed doors, and Ted Cruz described the confrontation with Blanche as fireworks at an epic level.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad. Cruz has been one of the people that's been against it.
Yep, and the fight helped stall a major immigration funding package just before their Memorial Day recess this week.
Yeah. So now the party that always says Democrats spend too much money. I mean, it's foolish that's even a sentence, because we see the way Republicans act when they get in office, and the amount of money that they spend is outlandish. Already Trump is on a path to spend more money than he did the first time. Why they call themselves fiscal hawks. They seem to spend more money than a than a teenager at the mall in the 80s. Like, it's ridiculous to see them spend, man. So now the party that always says Democrats spend too much money is fighting over whether Trump's allies should get a taxpayer-funded payout. And remember, this is after Trump already pardoned these people. So first they get pardons, now some could get paid. This is not justice. This is fucking bullshit.
Yep.
That is not how this breaking the law is supposed to work.
Right, exactly. And that's why people are calling it a slush fund, because who decides who gets paid? Is it going to be a special commission, a political appointee, a Trump loyalist? And why should the people who assaulted police or tried to overturn an election even be considered in the conversation? Why should they be getting paid?
Yeah, man. It's unbelievable that we're seeing this right now. This is a moment that we will never forget in throughout history, man. This president, everything that he has brought forward, everything that he believes in and what he has tried to implement, we will talk about for centuries on. This will be talked about forever, man. Trump, it will be known as one of the most divisive, the worst president ever. But let's bring this back to the real people watching today. Think about families struggling with rent. Think about people who can't afford health care and the things that are happening right now with gas, groceries, beef at all-time highs. We can't afford, man. We can't even buy a couple ribeyes and throw them on the grill, man. They cost so much. They're so expensive. Everything is going up. They all cried about it when Biden was in office, but now that Trump is in office, they want to talk about a different subject. Trump, he yelled about a kind of affordability when he was on the campaign trail, but now he act like he doesn't even know what the word is, and the Democrats made it up.
Right. It's a hoax.
It's just it's just something the Democrats made up. What is that? What is affordability? He doesn't even understand. Well, pork is reasonable. Okay, I want a hamburger, dog. You know what I mean? What are you talking about? You don't try to make me buy pork because beef is so expensive. Like, we want our beef to be fucking regular prices. I mean, it's what's going on is ridiculous. I mean, I just don't understand, man. Families filing, they can't pay their rent because the rent prices are still so high. Because all these people took advantage of COVID and the things that we were going through and raised their rent through the roof. All these people can't afford health care, and their health care plan is just non-existent. He keeps saying he's going to come up with a plan, and they never come up with anything.
Nope.
Only thing they want to do is tear up whatever Obama did. And Obama's plan wasn't the greatest, but it at least was giving people access to the health care that was needed. Because right now, I believe that if you're not pushing for Medicare for all, I don't think that you should be running for office right now. That's how important this health care is right now to me. But all these people, they have no problem with $2 billion going to this. These are the type of money that we could use to make Medicare for all. For everyone can go to the hospital and have to worry about these things. We could have money that help the veterans who are waiting on benefits. Think about the schools that we could be helping and sending funding to instead of helping these piece of shit people who ran into the fucking Capitol knowing they wasn't supposed to fucking be there.
Right.
We still got places like Flint who got dirty water. We're going to talk about the data centers and the water that they're dealing with in the areas they building these data centers. Think about the committee still recovering from discrimination, disinvestment, but somehow Washington can move mountains when the payouts go to Trump's people.
Yep. And that's the insult. Because when Black people ask for their repair, they call it a handout. But when MAGA asks for compensation, what you think they call it? Justice. But justice for who?
Man, justice for a select few. Justice for people who Trump feels as though rode for him. And that's what he's doing. He's like, all these, I feel as though these people, they took they rode for me. They wanted to stop the election for me. So I want to do everything I can to help them. It's garbage. Them people, he got to leave those people alone. He's not even supposed to be in office because of that mistake that he made on that day. The fact that he is there just proves what white privilege does in this country. A guy who put together in what is it? Was it Korea, South Korea?
Mm-hmm.
The president tried an insurrection. He's in jail right now.
Yep.
But the guy who tried an insurrection in America, because money rules our country, he's back as the president.
Having faced
Shit, I mean,
zero accountability.
Native Americans was given land, man, but that land is minuscule compared to what they had at first. And what was promised at first in the treaties. Because the Americans never kept their word that was put down in writing on these treaties. We've been taking a Native American land state to state, man. Running those people out, man. Now those people, man, they're living in lives that's so horrible because we don't do shit for them. The natives get shitted on, man. We just give these people some fucking casinos, and that's about it, man. Like, it's pretty dirty the way America has done those people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I say, they always try to say, "Oh, America, the great America, man." It's when you learn the history and see, it's the shit, man. What the fuck? It's been a whole lot of heartless people running this place.
Very heartless.
But we talk about it again. Reparations for Black Americans. Everybody said it was too expensive. We talked about student debt relief under Biden. And they were like, that's unfair. No. Why should they get their loans? Because we're getting murdered. Schools are costing too much. Schools cost too much. There needs to be some bill put in place that these schools cannot cost the amount that they're costing right now. Especially because most of these schools used to be free.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these schools before the 50s and 60s, before the riots of the 60s and 70s, most of this shit was free. But the Republicans plan to keep people out. Reparations for the same reason Trump is giving money to those people that ran into the building for January 6th. Weaponization. Why does this need to be
for the
explained to you?
Hardships they had to go through.
You understand it for January 6ers. You don't care about that. But when it comes to people that are darker than you, I don't get it. You don't understand. But when it's your people, you can see clearly. The sun just glazes. You just get it automatically. But anytime it's somebody darker, you're just confused. I don't understand. Fuck out of here, man. Anytime it's us, it's too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, student debt relief. Y'all said unfair. Food assistance. People need to work. Pull yourself up. Healthcare. How are we going to pay for it? Then nobody has money for shit. But a nearly $2 billion political grievance funds. Now they want a committee. Now the whole shit real fast is about Trump showing his fucking taxes.
Yep.
Something he was supposed to show in the fucking first place.
Mm-hmm.
Every president has shown their taxes and made them public. Trump didn't want to do that.
The first president in nearly 4 decades.
He don't want to do that. Because he's a crook and he don't want everybody to see how he's a fucking crook on his taxes. So he doesn't want to release them.
Mm-hmm.
So a dude released them. He's going to jail. He's been locked up. But he's still going to sue the government. Because he feels as though he's been wrong. And instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to wait until after I'm out of office, and then I'll try to bring the suit against the government once I'm out, because this is not a situation where I can make the decision and then I'm going to make a decision who wins. And he said that out of his own mouth. He knew that's the way it was working. But he was okay with that. He was okay with cheating. So he decided, oh, fuck it, I'm going to make the decision to give myself some money. Like, it's crazy, dog. Then he threw in there, and we also, we can't get audited for our taxes, my whole family, because we're all crooks and we all cheat on our fucking taxes. So we can't get audited, which I know is unlawful. There's no way he can make that decision. The same way, Roy Viles, Trump is trying to give January Sixers money for the things that they went through. I don't understand. You didn't hear it the first time? We wasn't on January 6th. We wasn't there. We didn't make them go into the room. Why should my money go to them?
Right.
So if you're okay with that, and you're not okay, I'm not talking about reparations today. I'm talking about reparations through the whole time. They should have got it the minute that they were released as slaves.
Yep.
But it didn't happen. The people that lived through Jim Crow, they should have got money.
Mm-hmm.
All the Jim Crow laws, which wasn't that long ago. A lot of those people are still alive. The people that were hurt by the crack epidemic, which was caused by the American government, they should have got money, which was just in the 80s. So you sit around and talk about slavery like it's the only thing reparations should have came from. It should have been money from all of these things that has happened in America. Hey, you the one that's asking questions, dog. Why should people get the money? And I'm telling you the same reason why these motherfuckers are getting it. But if you're against January 6ers, you would think that you would be for reparations. If not today, at least in the past, they should have gotten it. It's ridiculous.
Yep. But Habari Nation, we want to ask you, should any taxpayer money go to those people who were connected to January 6th? Drop us a yes or no in the comment section and then tell us why. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, man, that's real. Every single soul born into the world garden is a slave of the Roman period. Romans, the British and the Romans are the past. They did a lot of shit, but they're not as powerful as they used to be. America has more powerful than Britain has right now, and a lot of the countries that used to be under Britain is removing themselves from their power. More and more African countries are removing themselves from the Europeans and putting themselves in place to govern their own shit, have their own fucking currency, get a hold of their own resources for the Europeans can stop stealing it. But I don't think Britain has the power that they used to. It's different. Where's my white reparations? That's great, Ray Viles. That's great. What happened to you, man? What happened to your family? That was so bad.
Should
Tell
I
us
get
about
money
it.
for the black guy that burglarized my house and assaulted me? That's called restitution, homie. So the person that did that has to pay what
You
the
can sue
state
them.
called as restitution. So
But you
they
can
will
sue
have
them.
to pay you
Yeah,
money.
you can
So
sue them
you
if you want
definitely
to.
will get what you call
And
a
it doesn't
reparation
matter
for
what
that.
color they are.
Right.
You just want to make sure you threw out the cut that they were black.
Yeah,
It
he
doesn't
did.
matter if they black, white, green, or yellow. If they burglarized and stole some shit that was yours, you can sue them. You can see them in court. You can try to get the money back, especially if they were found guilty of the crime. What is there to talk about? I mean, yeah. Yeah, you just have to throw in there that somebody black or somebody white stole some money from me. Do I bring that shit up? Do I give a fuck? No. Do I treat white people any different because a white guy robbed me once? No. Because I know there's crooks in all colors. There's crooks in all creeds. We have a president that's a crook right now.
A convicted felon.
Convicted felon president. Now, president destroying this country. I grew up in Jim Crow. Lord save us. Hey, man. You're right, man. And the demons and the spirits of the Jim Crow era still arise in the day. As the South ran to take away black representation, something that was fought for in the Jim Crow era, in the Martin Luther King era. People had water hose sprayed on them trying to get representation in the South because the South didn't want to give an inch. And what the Supreme Court is allowing them to do right now is just bringing back Jim Crow eras. And we know the elections have consequences, man. And I hope a lot of you people who talk about third parties, talk about both sides, I hope that you finally see the difference. Look what the Republican Party is putting in place. Look at the racism that they are executing. Look at it. Look at the South taking people out, taking whole black districts out. With only one black, the state is 30-40% black, but they only can get one black representative. Every other representative is for them, even though they're only 50-60% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
How is that fair? It should be almost even, right?
Right. You would think.
No. But that's the America we live in today, where it's not about fairness. It's about how can the Republican Party take as much as possible. That's what's going on, man. That's what we're living in today. You cannot claim to be the party of law and order while creating a financial safety net for people who attacked the law and rejected the order. You cannot say reparations are unrealistic always and never have while building a reparations style fund for political allies and crooks. They are not against reparations. They are against reparations for black people. They don't want to see black people get shit. That's why they're so against DEI. Anything that we do that makes them feel uncomfortable, they're against it. We're going to dive deeper into what this says about Trump's grip on the Republican Party, why some GOP senators are suddenly pushing back. Some of them are saying this is a step too far. And whether this fight is really about principle or about political survival, we will see, man. We will see. As another day in the dramatic world that we're living in, the Trump administration is just crazy. Mm-hmm. Black community equal permanent victims. Hey, you know what they say though? The victims are people who been telling you they're victims and you're ignoring them and just talking about all the victim mentality. They mean they're being abused by a abuser. And the only thing you guys can say is, oh, victim mentality, while you abuse and take away every power that has been worked for in this country. Y'all are abusers, man. That's why people are saying that things are happening. That's how victims happen. That's how these people occur. That's how these things happen, you dumb fuck. You think people just wake up, oh, I feel like being a victim. No, if things worked out the way they're supposed to, if you give people what they're fucking supposed to have, then we don't have those fucking problems.
Right.
If you leave us the fuck alone, let us have our fucking neighborhoods, let us have our fucking representation. We talk about it all the time doing Reconstruction. How many black people were in the South? How much representation? How much power? For some reason, ever since then, it's never been like that. So that means it's never been fair. That means it's never been right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. White working class people, they are getting shitted on. But we can't make them wake up. They keep voting for the rich.
Right.
They keep voting to keep the rich and all the money in the rich people's pocket. We talk about unions. We talk about things to bring the workers together. And the white working class, they're voting for the people who want to give tax cuts to the billionaires. They voting for the people who want to take away every safety net that we have socially. That's what they're doing. Every single time we try to get something for us, we try to get health care for us. The white working class don't want to do it. They're against it. So yeah, man, if we do see that the white working class is being hurt just as much as other Americans are being hurt. They're being taken advantage of. You look at places like, thank you, Aunt Banks. We look at places like Virginia. We look at these places, man, that's struggling financially. It's not just black people. Most of the people that are on SNAP benefits are white. We wish that they would vote differently, but they have this mentality that the liberals are out to get them as they try to work for the fucking working class people. Try to do something for the people that are poor. It don't matter what fucking color you are, but you guys always want to make it about racism. I say it all the time, man. Us as poor people should be together on the same plateau, fighting to make sure that we get better wages. that we get access to good schools, that we have access to great hospitals. These are things that everybody should be fighting for. But for some reason we can't. Half the people are worried about what bathroom or some trans person is going to,
Right.
and that's what they care about more. They're more worried about what black people are doing, what immigrants are coming in the country, instead of worrying about making sure that we all have safety nets so we don't fall through the cracks. We don't lose our homes because we got into an illness. Now we can't pay our fucking health debt. These are the things that we all should be worrying about. I just don't get it. I don't care what color fucking we are, man. We all are hurting. We all can't afford fucking to buy beef. We all can't afford to pay for gas. We're all struggling to pay this expensive rent that we're seeing right now. Yeah, man. That's a lot of people. They have this mentality that as long as the black people and the immigrants are struggling worse than me, I feel okay. But the problem is our struggle is the same. You think that I'm struggling more than you, but you're wrong. You think the average black person is struggling more? We're all struggling the same. When you talk to people, when you know people from all backgrounds, all of us talk about the same shit. How we struggled coming up, the things that we ate when it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
Most everybody has the same stories. Let's go ahead, man. We're gonna talk about this birthright citizenship shit. Let's play this video of Trump discussing Trump birthright citizenship and how he feels it should end. There you go.
On the Supreme Court, sir, we're still waiting for the decision on birthright citizenship.
Yeah, birthright. It's a big decision that we're waiting for from the Supreme Court. We had a terrible tariff decision. They cost our country a fortune. They said do it a different way. We're doing it a different way, but we're going to most likely have to pay back $149 billion. All they had to do is put a little sentence in there, half a sentence, saying that any monies paid don't have to be paid back. You know, you're talking about the people in many cases that hate our country. Give them back money. It was a terrible decision. And it's not going to affect because we do the tariffs a different way. The tariffs are what's bringing in all of this money. It's really made our country rich, modernly rich. Now we have another one coming up, which is birthright citizenship. And we're the only country in the world that has it. You step into our country and you're all of a sudden a citizen. You come in a certain way. This was not meant for Chinese billionaires to have their children become citizens of our country. This was meant, or other rich people, poor people. This was meant for the babies of slaves. This was signed right after the Civil War. You look at the dates alone, immediately after. This was having to do with the babies of slaves. And people have used it. And if this is allowed to stand, it will be a disaster economically for our country. And you'll have 25% of the people coming into our country coming in through birthright citizenship. And we won't have any control. This decision by the Supreme Court is a very big one. They'll probably rule against me because they seem to like doing that. Frankly, I'm not happy with some of the decisions. Look at NIL. Look what they've done. Look what the courts have done to college sports. They're destroying college sports.
Shut up, Trump. A lot of people are mad about that NIL shit, man, because a lot of these young kids are getting paid. These young black kids are getting money, and they don't like that. These young kids are being able to make decisions for themselves and them families, and they don't dig that shit, man. I'm happy they got NIL money. I'm happy they finally getting paid, and these schools aren't reaping all of the benefits from these damn kids. They've been doing it. They've got a 50, 60-year head start, putting money in their pocket, building stadiums, making all their boosters rich, doing everything they can off of these kids and not giving them a dime. I'm happy they getting paid. And all the old boomers don't like it. Who cares? Who cares? But this birthright citizenship fight is just something that the white supremacists are trying to push forward. You know, they love to say it was just for the black people. It was just for the slaves. Woo, boo, boo, boo. He says continuously that we're the only country in the world that has it. He's fucking wrong. He's wrong.
Wrong.
There's other countries that have it. This is something that America has been about since day one. These people always say they love the Constitution, but it seems they hate most of it. Except the Second Amendment. They love that. The guns part. They love that part. None of that shit can be touched. They don't give a fuck about the First Amendment, 14th. They don't care about none of that shit. The only thing they care about is the Second Amendment. And they can shoot people. That's what they want. And we're going to be right back, man, to talk more about this here. We're going to run a quick break here. We'll be right back. Corporate media failed the people. They told us what to think, what stories mattered, and who deserved a voice. Meanwhile, everyday people are struggling. Families can't afford groceries. Politicians are performing for cameras instead of helping the community.
Almost feel
And
like
mainstream media keeps protecting the same broken system. That's why we created Habari Live. Independent media, unfiltered conversations, real discussions about politics, sports, culture, entertainment, and the issues affecting real people. We're not backed by billionaires. We're not reading corporate scripts. And we're not afraid to challenge narratives. Because the people deserve more than outrage and propaganda. They deserve truth, perspective, community, news our way. This is Habari Live. Subscribe now and join the movement. Habari Live. Welcome back. Yeah, man, we're in the house today. Thank you, Sean Walker. We appreciate you. Big ups to Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland rocks. I'm old school, man. Yeah, I know you. Do you remember the John Kerry? So was it John Kerry? Jim Carrey? Damn. The Cleveland Rock Show. I forget the name of the dude now. But anyway, he went on to do. I think he does Family Feud now. He does Family Feud now. Jim Carrey. I think that's what his name is. But I might be fucking it up. Look who the host for the Family Feud, right? Not Family Feud. Is it? No. Why can't I think of the name?
The Price is Right?
Yeah, there we go.
That's Jim Carrey.
Is it Jim? I don't know what his name is. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I forgot dude's name.
Drew Carey.
Drew Carey. There you go. I keep calling him Jim. I'm like, it's not Jim. I knew it was something different. Drew Carey. Yeah, he had a TV show back in the day. That was pretty good. Talking about Cleveland. Yeah, but anyway. So we need to have a conversation, man, about this citizenship shit, the Constitution, and the dangerous historical patterns this country keeps repeating. Right now, the United States Supreme Court is deciding whether Donald Trump's executive order targeting birthright citizenship can move forward. And let's be clear, man, from the beginning, this is bigger than immigration. This is bigger than politics, man. This is about who gets to be considered. Thank you, Hal. Yeah, you're right, Drew Carey. This is about who gets to be considered American, man. And it's pretty sad that this is the fights that we're going through today. But we have to do more as a country, man.
Whose line is it anyway? I'm guessing that was the show that Drew Carey was on.
No, he had a show where he was in Cleveland. I think it was called the Drew Carey Show, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, it might have been. I think I do remember
but whose
that.
line is it anyway was definitely a good show. Go ahead.
You're right. But because Trump's executive order would deny citizenship to babies born in the United States if their parents were undocumented immigrants or temporary residents. That means that a child born on American soil could suddenly be told that they're not American enough. Now, Trump and his supporters claim that the 14th Amendment was never meant to apply broadly. And they point to the phrase that subject to jurisdiction thereof, and argue that children of immigrants should be excluded from this. But civil rights groups and constitutional scholars and lower federal courts have all overwhelmingly rejected that argument as unconstitutional. Yet it's still the argument he's running with.
Yeah, man. I know that a lot of Republicans they want to stop the immigrants from coming in, and this is their mission. This is their reason they wake up every morning. I just don't know how you're going to implement this. How you going to decide what people are citizens? How you going to decide who is and who isn't? Like, are you going to go? What are you going to go by? How dark they are? You're going to put up the color graph like they did on Peter Griffin? You know what I'm saying? In the one meme, is it they're too dark? Then nah, not American. They're light enough, then yeah. Like, I don't know how we're gonna do this shit, man. And it sounds like something that's too confusing to put in place to try to change something that we've had in America since the day one. And it just doesn't seem like something that's worth putting in place. I don't understand why we're doing this. And this is where history should always matter, because attacks on birthright citizenship did not start with Trump. This country has a long history of trying to define citizenship through race, fear, and exclusion, my bad. But we have people who, when you had the 3/5 compromise, the South, they wanted the power of the voting from the black people, but they didn't want to count them as a whole person. So you got the 3/5 compromise. Things like this that just erases history of America and the greed. Because it could have been left that the slaves were never counted, but the amount of people in those areas gave those politicians in the South more power because of the people. So what do? We don't want to count them as a whole person because we don't believe that they're people. Let's count them as 3/5 of a person.
Right.
Let's do that. We'll run with that. The racist history, the garbage that we have to keep dealing with in this fucking country. Before the 14th Amendment, black people were literally told by the Supreme Court that they were not citizens of this country. People were born here, their grandparents, all of us, man. Since Crispus Attucks, we've been here since the revolution. First person killed in the revolution, black. We get no love. We get nothing. They say we're not even citizens. The highest court in America once ruled that black people had zero rights, which the white man was bound to respect, and they felt good about those decisions.
Yep. And that was the infamous Dred Scott decision in 1857. The Supreme Court basically declared that black people, enslaved or free, could never truly belong in America. And after the Civil War, the 14th Amendment was passed specifically to overturn that racist ruling. And birthright citizenship was not just an accident, it was intentional. It was created because America had already shown that it could strip citizenship and humanity away from black people whenever they felt it was convenient.
Right.
For them.
So, I mean, the people in the comment section are let the black shit go. But the problem is your president said and discussed how the birthright citizenship was put in. It wasn't put in place because white people did not want to make black people who had been living here for centuries, they didn't want to count them as citizens. So if you want to blame someone, you blame your ancestors for making these stupid ass decisions that they fucking made. So now Trump, who is trying to take birthright citizenship away, he's saying that the black people that were slaves, their kids are already permanent residents, so we can just take it away. The biggest slave owners were black. You have to be the dumbest person in the world if you believe that.
The dumbest.
Like, dog, are you that dumb? You can't be that dumb. Yeah, there were a few black people that owned slaves in America. But to say that they were the biggest is just a fucking stupid lie. Stop it. Stop it. There are plantations across the South that proved and not owned by black people who had the biggest plantations. Stop this fucking lying, man. Goodness. That's all y'all do is lie. The truth is, y'all don't like the truth. Y'all don't like hearing the truth. Just like making up shit. The 14th Amendment said, if you were born here, you are a citizen, period. Not dependent on politics, not dependent on who your parents are or what color they are, not dependent on who's the fucking president or if his name is Trump or Biden. That amendment was a direct response to white supremacy and the idea that citizenship should only be to certain races or groups, something that the white supremacists still try to push to this day.
Yep. You're right. And what's interesting is that every generation seems to recycle the same old fear. Back then, it was Black Americans. Later, it became home to Chinese immigrants during the Chinese exclusion era. Later, it's undocumented immigrants and their migrant families. The target changes, but the strategy essentially remains the same.
Mm-hmm.
Create a class of people who are targeted as outsiders no matter how long they've been here.
Right.
No matter how many generations have been born on American soil.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's a gentleman who just said that every slave was bought from a black person first. Boy, man. So was it white on white enslavement when the English enslaved the Irish? Was it white on white enslavement? Was it white on white enslavement when the Jews were getting killed by the Germans? The Germans were killing other Germans that were white. It's kind of crazy, man, how y'all love to move the goalpost and try to make things seem. But not all the situations in Africa when they were selling slaves was it from another group. Sometimes white people did go in and steal groups. Now, sometimes they did buy people from certain groups. So it's all true, man. All of it is true. But different tribes didn't look at each other as black. The idea of black started in America. In Africa, they still don't look at each other as the same. You see the problem in South Africa right now is they're trying to kick out immigrants from across the continent from coming into their country. They don't look at people just because they're black as them. They look at themselves as South African and they're Zambian and they're Kenyan and they're Nigerian and we don't like them. So your thought patterns of, oh, everyone black is cool with each other, that's not really how it works. It's not really how it is. It's not really how shit has ever worked. But you guys can live in your little racist bubble that you want to live in. It's fine. But if you think that black people sold black people, so did white people sell white people when they did the Irish the way they did them and made them indentured slaves when they came to America? Like the idea of white and black, that's American, man. It's just bullshit that they make up, a social construct. But you guys can keep rolling with it all you want, man. There's no white people being oppressed in South Africa. They own like 80% of the wealth down there. I think they're doing pretty good. They're like 7-8% of the population, and they own like 80% of the wealth. It might be even more than that. But South Africans are trying to push out immigrants. And these are other black people. But they don't, like I said, they don't look at it like that there. They look at them as Zambian. They look at them where they're from, and they see them as a people that are invading their country. They don't look at it as, oh, they're black. Like I said, that is something that black Americans do, African Americans do, because we have to stick together in this fucking place. Other countries don't believe in that. I wish they did, because we would have a much more connected continent of Africa, but they don't. They don't see it that way. They have different religions. They're from different tribes. They have different dialects. They're different, and they don't see each other in that way. I'm stupid. African whites are getting killed. No, they're not. Shut the fuck up. It's been disproven a million times. It's not happening. Y'all can try to cry all you want to. The people from South Africa that Trump has been begging to come, they're not even leaving. If they're going through so much, they would be flocking to America, and they are not flocking here. Some of the people that came to America has already went back to South Africa. So obviously they're not going through shit. We've talked to people from South Africa. We've seen these people getting interviewed, and all of them say the same thing. Ain't shit happening. So y'all shut the fuck up, man. People need to understand why this matters so much to Black Americans specifically, because our history in this country is full of moments where our citizenship, our humanity, and our rights were conditional. After slavery ended, Black people still had to prove we belong. During Jim Crow, our rights were constantly challenged. Even today, people still try to erase Black history, Black districts, Black votes, and questions who deserve protection under the Constitution. So when politicians start talking about weakening birthright citizenship, our ears perk up because we know they may be going after somebody else, but at the same time, they also coming after us. We already know.
We next.
We hear something deep when we hear the responsibility of Americans creating another second-class system.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And once the government gets the power to decide who counts as an American, marginalized communities are always the first people who are put under the microscope. That is why civil rights organizations are sounding the alarm now, because it's not just about immigration policy. It's about whether or not citizenship becomes conditional in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And historically, conditional citizenship has always been dangerous for Black people.
Yeah, yeah, man. And you know the guy, when he want to talk about how shithole the country Africa is, colonized by the European countries, stolen all their resources, robbed the people of their currency. I don't know how you guys even point fingers and talk about places when it's your fucking fault that Africa is in the situation it's in. You can't sit around and talk about, oh yeah, look at Africa, when you're the people that brought in soldiers and started killing people and took over these places. Took over the resources. To this day, these people are fighting to get a hold of their own resources in their country, as the European countries are stealing. Today, you go to fucking European countries, see museums filled with African artifacts, African treasures that they fucking stole and put in a fucking house. You're gonna sit around and talk about, oh, look how broke they are. You fucking stole it. You took it. Yeah, China is doing a lot, man. But China is helping Africa. They're giving Africa a lot of money, and in the back end, it may be something that may be a double-edged sword for Africa. You're right about that. I don't know what China's trying to do, but America doesn't do anything to help Africa. But China is helping them build roads, highways, streets, helping them with technology so they can build better hospitals. America does nothing but shit on them. Europe does nothing but shit on them. If China is going to fucking deal with them and give them money so they can make their fucking places better, I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to fucking go against them when America and other places do nothing but fucking shit on them. When America, when Trump is fucking talking about Zambia and holding money from them because he wants their resources, holding aid from all the places, taking aid from Uganda. So nah, man, it's kind of hard for me to look at fucking America and what they do for Africa, which is absolutely nothing. We could have built trade with the countries. We could do things to help out Africa and make it better. But no, we just rather steal and take and do what Europe does. Take from them, steal from them, take their diamonds, take their gold, put it in our fucking pocket, put it in our museums, make money as people pay money to go see the shit that from their fucking country.
Right.
But the scary part, man, is that Trump keeps publicly pressuring the Supreme Court. He already said it would be a disgrace if the court rules against him again, because tariffs, oh, he had to pay that money back. You know, he tried to say it's foreign countries that's getting, no, it's American businesses that he will be paying back because the tariffs are paid by American companies, you dumbass. He tries to trick us like we're stupid, dog. It's a disgrace. Think about that shit, man. This dude is trying to pressure the Supreme Court because he's put a few people in place. He think he owns them. He thinks they have to make the decisions that he wants them to make. A president is publicly attacking legitimacy of a constitutional protections because he wants the court to reinterpret the 14th Amendment. What kind of shit is this?
And then during the oral arguments, even some conservative justices reportedly sounded skeptical of Trump's legal arguments. Lower courts have already called the executive order blatantly unconstitutional. But the concern is this: even if the court does not fully side with Trump, the fact that birthright citizenship is even being debated should tell you where this political movement wants to go.
Yeah, man.
Why are we bringing up birthright citizenship? Something that's been etched into the Constitution via the 14th Amendment.
Yeah, man, because once you normalize questioning who deserves citizenship, you normalize questioning who deserves rights. And history has shown us exactly where that tightroad leads us. You see the history. We know what's going to happen. It's only going to get worse. And the Trump administration loves it. They love the chaos. They love the infighting. They want to keep us fighting amongst each other so he can steal the money from the back door.
Exactly. Running right through the back door. But, Habari Nation, we want to hear from you today. Do you believe that birthright citizenship should remain protected under the 14th Amendment? And do you think that these attacks are connected to America's long history of racial exclusion? Yes or no? Tell us why in the comments section.
Yeah, man, because this conversation is not just legal, it's personal, it's historical. And for many communities, especially Black Americans, it's about survival and recognition in a country that has repeatedly tried to deny both. And we have to keep stepping up. We have to keep speaking up. And we have to keep on making sure that these people hear what we're saying.
Exactly. You're right. So, if you'd like, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, become a member, do all the things if you'd like to continue to support us.
So next, man, let's go ahead and play a couple of videos. It's talking about some of the data centers, man, that's being built across the country and some of the effects that we are seeing from these data centers environmentally. It's been an issue that has been surging across state after state. We have Trump telling states that they cannot put in any regulations or rules. California this week has said they're going to start looking at ways so they can put in regulations on AI. Trump is 100% against it. He said he's going to take away any funding that he can take away if anybody puts any regulations against AI. But when we see what AI is doing to local environments, to the water, to the whales, sound pollution, what is happening to the energy crisis, making our energy bills higher and higher and higher for we can't even afford to pay our fucking light bill. We have to understand that we are the ones that's going to pay the price. And these rich people are going to just put more money in their pocket. We've seen neighborhoods and areas vote against having data centers put in their neighborhoods. And we've seen the people who are running the place go against their constituents and put the data centers in there anyway. The greed is disgusting. We've seen Elon Musk being sued in Memphis because he's putting in all the type chemicals that's destroying the land, polluting the people. It's disgusting. They're not worried about the environment. We seen Trump this week put in laws to try to tell grocery companies that they don't have to worry about pollution from their AC. They can pollute all they want to. They're gonna loosen the regulations on that. So you guys pollute it up. It's not gonna save us on our groceries prices. Nothing is gonna be cheaper. But this is his dumbass idea. You know, because Republicans always believe it's the regulations. Screw the consequences. Screw what it does to the environment. Screw what it does to the air. Screw that all these people in the area are getting cancers. Fuck all that. They don't care. President Trump is the only president with 3 assassinations because he shits on people continuously.
Consistently.
That's all he does is shit on people. Maybe if you stop shitting on whole communities, motherfuckers will stop trying to come kill you. Let's go ahead and play this video of AOC talking about a data center and the effects it's had on the local government environment.
I have a jar right here. This is the current drinking water in Morgan County, Georgia. Right after a data center was constructed, the metadata center was constructed, the only difference between the clean water and this was that data center. I have another one as well. So this wasn't just one well. These wasn't just one family's situation. This is what the drinking water now looks like next to that data center. And I think both of us can agree that neither one of these things are drinkable. These families now have to ship, in a rural area, have to ship water to their house in order to cook and bathe themselves. Now, I'm curious if the EPA plans any investigations on how data centers are affecting water quality and availability. I understand what you said about the rule, but are there going to be any open investigations on this issue?
So as soon as I get back to the office, I will be looking into exactly what you've just talked about, because anywhere, whatever type of construction it is a priority to ensure that water quality standards established by EPA are being met. And so we'll be looking into that certainly.
Thank you. I sincerely appreciate that because I think this is of utmost importance, and we're seeing this happening across the country. I'd also like to ask about the administration's push to build more data centers by fast-tracking construction. Because the administration's been issuing executive orders to fast-track data center construction when we know that water quality is encountering major issues. Are there any mandates for data centers to do water quality testing prior to construction?
Of like coming from a public water supply, drinking water supply sampling?
Wells, yeah.
I'm not aware of anything like that. However, it doesn't mean I'm just not aware of it. Might exist,
Yes,
but I'm not.
Of course. You know, I think it's important that you as an agency official, we have to make sure we're doing these investigations. And then us, on a congressional level, I'd like to note that I think it's of utmost importance that we also launch congressional investigations into this matter as well, so that we can partner with the EPA and ensure that the drinking water for this country continues to be safe and accessible for the American people. So thank you, Administrator.
Thank you.
Now, I want to say one thing about the person. I think her name was Katrina, I believe, that was from the EPA, and she didn't act like these fucking ass wipes from the Trump administration and come out with a burn book to be able to fight back. Instead, she answered the questions she could, and she said, "Hey, I don't know," on the questions she didn't know. She was nice, and it was nice to see a hearing that we didn't have people yelling and screaming and trying to burn the person with something they did instead of answering the fucking questions during the hearing and the reason why you're fucking here. We've seen many of them. Duffy did it the other day as they called him in for a hearing because he's been doing a horrible job. Sean Duffy, he's terrible. Planes have been falling out of the sky daily, and he sucks. But what does he do? He comes with the Pam Bondi playbook and gets to talking about what the other person has done. It's garbage. It's a horrible, horrible thing that this cabinet has done and the way they've started things because they don't want to be accountable for anything that they've done. Now, these data centers are horrible. And they are just rushing to implement these centers as all these companies rush to put in AI everywhere. We don't know what the effects are going to be of how many people are going to be out of jobs, but these companies love it. If it's a way for they don't have to hire people, they love it. But I hope every state is putting in some type of protection for the workers and for the people who are having these trying to work these jobs, because if all of these jobs go and they just go AI, I don't know what's going to happen in America. We're already in a bad place right now. It's not going to look good. And we got another video talking about these data centers. Go ahead and run the one under her. Yeah.
And I live 1.6 miles downstream from the Meta Data Center in Beaver Dam. If you need to stand and stretch for a moment, please do. I have never in my life needed a group of people to be more alert to what I have to say. Thank you for staying so long. I'm a lifelong Wisconsin resident. I live on a horse farm and I am an educator. For almost 50 years, a natural creek has flowed through my property. It's 20 feet wide, up to 4 feet deep. It has persisted through drought, flood, seasonal change. It's part of a connected system. Groundwater, tributaries, watersheds, aquifers, ultimately flowing into Beaver Dam Lake. Until construction began upstream on the data center, its behavior was stable and predictable. After construction started, all of that changed here in Beaver Dam. The creek began to stop flowing entirely. Without rainfall, it would abruptly return, often cloudy and opaque like milk, with enough force to cause drastic erosion and damage. This pattern repeated itself dozens of times over a single construction season, to the point that it is dry half of the time. Dust from the construction covers my yard. My grass is white, and I'm 1.6 miles away. When I drive past it, I have to pull over because the dust cloud is so thick that I can't see the front of the hood of my truck. That behavior is not consistent with natural variability. It is not explained by weather patterns, and it has never happened before. So I did what residents are told to do. I called up the Department of Natural Resources. I spoke with dedicated staff, but the system is fragmented. My reports are passed between departments, reports are lost, and at one point I was told the agency didn't even know if they had clear authority over what was going on. What I learned in this process is there is no single entity responsible for what happens downstream when large-scale construction disrupts a water system. Different permits govern different activities, locally, county level, state level, some even federal. No one is tasked at looking at the whole picture or what happens beyond the project boundary. This is not a failure of individual agency staff, it's a policy failure. The law is on the side of the businesses and not on the residents. In my case, the creek's flow now appears correlated with industrial activity upstream and the times when that construction took place, including daily blasting with dynamite. When that discharge stops, my creek stops. When it resumes, water returns suddenly. Right now, corporates are receiving fast approval tax incentives, limited review, while residents are left to prove the damage after the fact at our own expense against billion-dollar companies. This research has become my part-time job. 10 to 20 hours a week I have spent since knowing it was a data center, trying to figure out what's happening to my land. Simply sending in a water sample from my property costs $121 just to ship the sample. The cost of the test alone is going to be another $400.
Yeah, man. And she lives in a rural area. She's on a farm. Another person's water has been affected. Creek has been stripped. The data centers are tearing the environment apart, man. And no one wants to do anything about it. You got to give it to Gavin Newsom, who you want to say thanks, Gruesome Newsom, but he's one of the few governors that's trying to put in laws to stop these fucking data centers. Like these data centers, man, I get it. I get it, man, but this is not the way what they're doing right now. This is not the way to put these centers in place. There has to be a better way and a better place that are away from neighborhoods. I don't know why they feel like they have to put them in residential areas. But every time they're putting them in places that are affecting other people and affecting how they are living their lives. And that's not fair. Just because Elon Musk has a lot of money, he shouldn't be able to shit on the poor people. It makes zero sense to me. What else we got? Scroll down there for me. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to the affordability there. We got Trump. He's going to talk about the word affordability and how the Democrats created the word affordability. And like I said, man, we heard Trump talk about this on the campaign trail. But now all of a sudden, he doesn't even know what the word affordability means. He doesn't understand it. Run the clip.
Gotten everything. The thing that we have now, the only thing that's really of great concern, two things. Beef is coming down, and the reason is they put restrictions on beef under the Biden administration, and it takes a while to settle that, but prices are down. But the big thing is, of course, energy. We had the energy way down, but I had to do a journey to Iran. I had to say, you know, we just hit the best markets. By the way, the stock market today is at the highest it's ever been. And we've had 59 of them, 59 days out of a very short period of time where the stock market hit all-time highs. So we have an all-time high stock market. We have all-time high job numbers. We have 401ks just hit the highest number they've ever been. So many of you have 401ks. That means you're richer than you've ever been. And we're doing really well. But they came up with this word, affordability, but it's them that caused the problem. And they use that word, senator, they use that word right from the beginning.
This dude here, they use the word affordability like they made up the word just to fuck with his life. It's so fucking goofy, dog. Look, man, you had a chance to make things cheaper. You came in office and you supposed to implement a plan to help the everyday Americans afford groceries and afford gas. You went the opposite direction of everything that you were speaking on the campaign trail. Mm-hmm. You were telling everybody how on day one you was going to make everything cheaper. You haven't done that. You have not, and you lying on fucking beef. Beef it just hit an all-time high today on price. You're lying, man. And people are sick of the fucking lies. Well, those of us who are not kissing your ass, those of us who can look at you and say that's not fucking true. Nothing he said was true. That was just a pile of lies. Beef is the most it's ever cost. Ever. Right now. And you people can just take these lies from this guy. Mm-hmm. As he just piles it on. 401k, man, yeah, some people are happy. But not all. Some people care about the stock market, but not all. Not all of us have money on that shit. So it's just ridiculous to listen to this dude. Yeah, his cronies, his homies, his boys, they're all living it up. Because he's done everything he can to help them, to shovel money to them. Mm-hmm. They're dancing, they're kicking it. So this is the outcome. What else we got? Let's play the Bernie Sanders one as he talks about going after super PACs.
The American political system is broken. It is corrupt. It is significantly owned by the billionaire class. Today, our government is well on its way to becoming a wholly owned subsidiary of the oligarchs. At a time when 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to pay for housing, healthcare, groceries, and other basic necessities, it is why millions of Americans are giving up on democracy. They are struggling. They're trying to stay alive, and they see a government that works day and night, not for them, but for wealthy campaign contributors. Today, the average American gets one vote. Billionaires, however, through their super PACs, can spend unlimited amounts of money to elect the candidates of their choice and to defeat candidates who stand up for working families or a just foreign policy. Does anyone in America really believe that our democracy is supposed to be about Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, spending $280 million to elect Donald Trump as president?
That's ridiculous.
Does anyone really believe that it is acceptable that in the 2024 presidential election, the 100 wealthiest people in the country could spend $2.6 billion to elect the candidates of their choice? Does anyone believe we are in anything resembling a true democracy when in the 2026 cycle, right now, AI, crypto, and APAC aligned super PACs will be spending many, many hundreds of millions of dollars to protect their interest? Here is the political reality of today, a reality that we just saw yesterday in the election in Kentucky, when Congressman Thomas Massie, somebody who I have very little in common with politically, was defeated by $9 million in contributions from AIPAC and $7 million from Trump mega donors. And what was the great crime that Massie committed that gendered so much super PAC money in opposition to him? Well, he opposed the war in Iran, and so do the vast majority of the American people. He demanded that the Epstein files be open, which is what the American people have wanted.
Now, what he's doing here, going against these super PACs, is good. The amount of money that was in the last election is astounding. You know, these right-wingers love to holler and scream about George Soros and how much George Soros has his hands on the scale. But they were applauding when Elon Musk was doing what he was doing, spending $270 million to put Trump in office. They had no problem. This dude giving people money for voting, giving people money for signing up and registering. Like, what he did was craziness in our face. He sat there and bought the election. And at first, when you looked at the media and stuff and the news, Trump, he didn't have enough money to fight back what was going on from the left. And we seen the report came out this week from the DNC saying how the Democrats lost the election. And a lot of it had to do with how they approach media, how they built her character, and how they showed her as a person. Them not going after rural white men and rural men, them not going after black men. So it's a lot of mistakes from the DNC, but at the same time, the amount of money that came from people like Elon Musk and other billionaires that were pushing behind Trump.
Right.
We have to do something. Yeah. She spent a lot of money too. I'm not gonna sit here and say that the Democrats don't have super PACs too, because they do. And the mission is to get rid of the super PACs on both sides. Just like the mission should be to get rid of gerrymandering on both sides, but the Republicans will never give up gerrymandering. No matter how many times it's brought to the floor, they will vote against it. Now, this super PAC issue, they will vote against this too, because the Republicans don't want a fair election. They want elections that's skewed by the rich, because that's who they are for. They're for the rich. They're for the rich people. They're for their benefit. They're the ones that created trickle-down economics. They're the reason we have all these things where the rich people are having astronomical amounts of money. Elon Musk on its way to be the first trillionaire, $1 trillion for one person. $1 trillion, one individual, and we're celebrating it. Like, yeah, Elon, Hoard all of the money. Take it all. We don't need anything. It's disgusting stuff, man. The amount of taxes that he should be seeing over a certain amount, he couldn't even get to that because he should be taxed so much. But that's what we're seeing, man. This is the days that we're seeing as the rich just scrape in more and more money. It's not a good idea, man. Because the people that we are seeing being hurt as these people hoard more dollars, you think that it doesn't equal more poor people as he gets more dollars in his pocket? Every time he gets to another plateau, that's another group of people that are starving. It's not a pot of money that's infinite. It's a pot of money that's shared amongst the country, and he's taking most all of it and putting it in his fucking pocket. So I don't know, man. How can you be for these people getting all of the benefits while we suffer and don't have health care?
Right.
Don't have any social fucking programs that helps our kids. We don't have daycare. Most every other first world country has a cap on how much daycare can cost. No matter how many kids, you're not paying more than $400 a month. We got people paying thousands of dollars a week for fucking daycare in America.
Mm-hmm.
We're paying more for everything. I was looking at a study the other day in Britain and Europe. They're paying like $40 to $50 less on their phone bills than us. Why are we always getting fucked? Why does it always seem that we are paying the most? The Americans are always getting the short end of the stick as they fight to make sure that these companies do the right thing in Europe. They hold them to a certain precedent.
Right.
Just like with the fucking Macs. They wanted to change their fucking charging cable again. Europe was like, nah, fuck that. You motherfuckers better come up with a universal charging cable for all of y'all shit and stop changing it. So they came, but now it's USB-C for everything instead of them using proprietary charging cables, coming up with new shit every time. So why? You got to go buy a new cable because that's how they make their money. I like Apple. I like their products, but that's bullshit. Capitalism, man, has to be reined in. We can't just let these capitalists do whatever the fuck they want to because they're making money. Because they have some few jobs that they're putting in place. We got to do better, man. Do we have anything else? Yeah, play this Chris Murphy.
The president sued himself. He sued the IRS, but essentially he was suing himself. And then he settled with himself for $1.7 billion to be deposited into a slush fund that the president can use at his discretion to reward his political supporters. We found out just hours ago that in that settlement is included a provision that stops the IRS from auditing the president or his family. So instead of ending the Iran war, instead of trying to do something about these spiraling prices and costs that are being borne by families and the federal government, the president has spent the last few weeks reaching his hand into the Treasury, stealing from the American people $1.7 billion to be put into a slush fund that he controls to reward his political supporters, and securing an agreement with the IRS that no matter how much fraud or illegality he and his family and his business entities engaged in, they are getting off scot-free. Everybody else in this country plays by the rules, can be audited by the IRS, is subject to the tax code. The president, as of today, no longer subject to the tax code. His past fraud, his past illegality has been immunized. And he's getting $1.7 billion of your money to give away to his political supporters. That's why the war is...
I should have probably, we should have played that earlier, but it's in the realm, man. This guy is a crook. Your president is a crook, man. He's a thief. He's stealing from the American people. The fact that you can sue your own government that you're in charge of is just you see the conflict of interest and you do nothing. Anybody with fucking brain would know, hey, I should hold this off until I'm out of office.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're a piece of shit and you're stealing the motherfucking money from the American people, you have no problem. No problem. Now to look at the other scandal of the week, as we all found out that Trump is personally doing trades while he's the president, while he's making decisions, getting insider information, he's making trades. Now, JD Vance tried to take up for him and say, well, it's the person that's working for him. You stupid fuck. He's not supposed to be making any trades, period. He has insider information. He can send a product or a company any way he wants to. And for him to be able to buy stocks and sell stocks, the fact that he's doing this shit in front of our face is insane.
Mm-hmm.
This dude has made like 47,000 trades. Like, it's crazy. He's making money off of the office. And y'all keep saying, well, he's not getting paid. He did that just because he knew y'all dumb as fuck. Y'all just keep saying that, even though this dude keeps stealing money. It's fucking insane. So let's hear JD Vance try to make an excuse for this fucking crook that's sitting in the White House.
Okay, number one, the president doesn't sit at the Oval Office on his computer on his like Robinhood account buying and selling stocks. That's absurd. He has independent wealth advisors who manage his money. He is a wealthy person. He has had success in business. He's not making these stock trades himself. And your question imputes that. It doesn't say it exactly, but a reasonable person listening to that question would assume the president is sitting around and doing that. He's not. Second of all, you're right. I am a big fan of banning members of Congress from trading stocks. So is the President of the United States. All of us believe that nobody should be taking proprietary information gained from public service and buying and selling stocks. We want to ban that process. And I think the way to lead by example is banning that process, banning that approach, and making it illegal, which is exactly what the president has proposed doing. Yeah.
We just watched Johnson the other day talk about how they need insider trading because they don't make a lot of money. And without insider trading, we wouldn't have a lot of people going for Congress because they couldn't make the money that they need to make to take care of their family. Mm-hmm. Now here goes JD Vance. Oh, we're voting against it. Get the fuck out of here. The vote came up. They call it the Nancy Pelosi bill. A Missouri senator put it in place. And who voted against it? The Republicans. As they made all the excuses that they could, that they have to have insider trading or they won't be able to make the amount of money that they need to make because they're suffering. It's so hard for them. Now, they love to use it as a political hammer to bludgeon their fucking foes and call Nancy Pelosi a crook. But when the motherfucking, when the curtains are drawn back, we see who Mr. Oz is, and it's Trump and his cronies. As they control the narrative while they still make all the money in the background with insider trading and all the people that they hate, AOC and Bernie Sanders, they don't do this shit. But all the Republicans do openly, and they have no problem with it. Trump making trade after trade, like my brother said, 3,800 every 9 minutes, something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just going acting a fool out there, putting in just work for he can make all the dollars off. He wants to come out a trillionaire out of the White House. They are yelling, scream, AOC and Ilham Omar, they were just waitresses. They were broke when they got into office, and now they're rich. But when Republicans become rich, they have zero problems.
Right.
They have zero problem that this dude is putting billions in his fucking pocket. AOC and all these people, they selling books. They're doing visitations, appearances. You're gonna get money when you get into a high visual office like that. There are gonna be things that happen that you're gonna get some money because of the position that you're in. But the amount of money that we're seeing these guys get is way too much. And insider trading is one of the main reasons they are getting that money. Now, if you get it from selling a book, if you get it because you sold some homes and you got into real estate, if you ever whatever business deals that you've able to make because of your profile, high profile job that you have, okay. But if it's all built off fucking insider trading and cheating, getting money and cheating for companies, taking money from lobbyists in Israel, then you're a piece of shit. And we need to do something about these super PACs, these fucking lobbyists. The lobbyists we've been doing for years, we've been trying to get the lobbyists out. The Republicans don't want to do that. Because you know the people who run the gun lobbyists and the Israel lobbyists, all these people are paying their fucking bills. And there's Democrats too that's getting money from all these fucking PACs. These PACs need to be fucking banned. Period.
I agree.
They do not need to have the power that they have so they can make the decisions they have. Our next fucking election, there should not be a fucking Elon Musk putting in millions of dollars to change the minds of people.
Right.
Period. The shit needs to stop. Fear, fear, fear. Americans are over it. That's real. That's real. Greatest con man. Yep, that's right. He is the greatest con man. Trump is literally stealing from these dumbasses that are defending him in his chat. That's real. That's real, brother. That's real. I'm not gonna say everyone, but it's a lot of them in Congress that are taking this money from all these lobbyists and all of these PACs, APAC, and all of these scandalous people that should not be in politics. They should not be able to change the minds of the politicians with money. The person the people who is taking the brunt of the hurt is going to be us, the American people. Well, Republicans, man, they're voting for dictators and billionaires. They don't mind dictators. They love the billionaires. They think they're going to be one tomorrow. So they make decisions thinking that they're going to be rich tomorrow. But we all know that's a very slim. Most of these people that are billionaires, they had a chance. Money was given to them. Everybody think that Elon Musk is self-made. How the fuck he's self-made? He comes from a wealthy family.
Right.
They talk about Kylie Jenner self-made. How the fuck you felt self-made? You came from a rich-ass family. That everybody, just because you was born, they knew who you couldn't even talk. Everybody knew who you were because of your family and your people. Nah, you ain't fucking self-made. Sit your ass down. I don't know how people vote for billionaires, man. I don't. I don't know how they think a billionaire can see life the same way that they do. You see this dude, he didn't even know what groceries are. Wait, what's groceries? What's that? It's an old-fashioned word, groceries. They used to use that word back in the olden days. The groceries used to be talked about. Like, dog, what? You don't even know what groceries are. How the fuck can you fucking how can we have a conversation with this guy? How can you talk about affordability? He talking about, it's a word that they made up. He don't know what affordability is. He's always been able to afford everything.
Right.
But y'all voting in a dude who cannot see your life or can give two fucks about the things that you are going through. Dog, you can believe that you're going to be successful, but it's a certain degree when you're getting to delusion. Believing that you're going to be successful and believing that you're going to be a billionaire are two different things. The chances of being a billionaire are very, very minuscule. The chances of having a decent job and getting a good education can get you to those places. But the chances of being a billionaire, very low. But I can tell you, the more education that you have, the higher chances you have to become a millionaire. Billionaire, that's a tough one. But if you think that you're going to become one and you're making decisions right now in your life as a broke motherfucker for a billionaire, you are an idiot. Fuck nah, he ain't never fried an egg. Had to throw some egg and some ramen noodles because he broke. He ain't never had no chicken ramen coming out the package and have to put eggs in there and some turkey trying to fix it up a little bit. He ain't never had no syrup sandwiches or sugar sandwiches. He's never been broke like that. He's never had to eat the things that we've eaten. Fucking what's that shit? The Vienna sausages that come out of the can.
The potted meat
that you have to eat and with the crackers with your grandmama. Like, dog, we all remember being broke, man. He ain't never seen the struggles we've seen. So people sit around talking about this guy. He don't give a fuck. Right. Man, you don't know about making grilled cheese sandwiches with booty parts of the bread because you got nothing else left. Shit, man, we struggled. People struggled growing up. Butter sandwiches, that sounds hard. But hey, people did what they had to do.
Mayo sandwiches.
Ugh.
Ugh, those was horrible.
Man, hey, man.
You ever had a banana and mayo sandwich?
That sounds disgusting. I have not. I keep saying racism because racist shit keeps happening, bro. But we all have struggled. We all been poor. We've all had goulash. You go into the fucking cabinets and your mother just making whatever she can at whatever is in the refrigerator and just throwing it together. This is an experimental day. We're gonna put whatever in the pot, whatever we got, for we can make it. We've all been there. Some of us haven't, but most of the people who are normal Americans have. Most of us remember struggling. For real, bologna sandwiches. Shit, I had so many bologna. I won't even eat that shit as a grown-up. I wouldn't even look at no bologna. I want nothing to do with bologna or hot dogs. This is how much we ate that shit as kids.
A banana and peanut butter and honey
I don't
sandwich.
know about that. Right.
That sounds like a pregnant lady craving.
I listened to you rant about blacks being... No, I was talking about birthright citizenship, and I was talking about things that was built on racism, my guy. It's a history in this country. I could talk about the history and the realism at the same time. Racism still exists. MAGA thinks that they have something in common with Bill. Yes, they do. They really do. They really think these people care about them. I used to make jam sandwiches that when you take 2 pieces of bread and jam, right? For real, bro. I know I used to take just put some butter and just make some damn toast, put a little butter on there, put it in there. It's toast. That's what we having. 2 pieces of toast. That's my damn lunch today. Times was tough, man. Times are tough. From Greece, what's up, Greece? This is U.S. government is utterly disgusting, irresponsible, egotistical, materialistic, entitled, and hypocrites. You are exactly right, brother.
Best way to describe it.
I agree with you 100%. We fit all of those characteristics, and it's ridiculously disgusting what we are doing to the normal, everyday people, man. Yeah, blacks and rednecks are the only ones keeping that bullshit alive. What are you talking about, man? Blacks and rednecks should see the issues that they face are the same. Economic issues, environmental issues. We're all going through the same things in this America. And these rich people are keeping us divided because they don't want us to come together to fight against them and their tyranny and what they are doing to hoard all of the resources and all of the money. We got Elon Musk and the Amazon dude putting all the money in their fucking pockets. And they're doing everything they can to get even more. Mulligan stew, whatever, well, that's real. We call it goulash, but mulligan stew, that's for sure. Yeah. Some people definitely are vile. Typical black stuff. What is typical? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? Mr. Z and G. You have issues, man. Billionaires are only players. They tell you to pick up a side, then pit you against. Yep, that's real. That's what they do. Now, am I jealous of rich people? No, I'm not jealous. Because with the amount of money they have, it's a lot of things that I probably wouldn't want to deal with that they'd have to deal with as a billionaire. But I mean, do I wish I had that much money? Not even really. I really don't wish. I just want enough money for be able to take care of my family, my daughter, make sure she's good in the future. I don't really need $1 trillion. I don't have the amount of greed that these people have, man. I'm not like them. I'm not like them. I'm not complaining. Shut up, man. You're an idiot. Yeah, Soros has came out many times though saying how he doesn't mind paying taxes. But you have people like the 50 cents of the world and all these people who are making decisions to be Republican because they don't want to pay tax. Why did I say black kids? Well, a lot of the kids, the sports that don't get paid are mostly black children. Eric Neff, I know you want to call me racist for some reason, but most of the people in NFL and college basketball, they weren't getting paid, and most of those kids on those teams are black. Now, when it comes to golf, those kids are getting paid at 14, 15. When it comes to tennis, those kids are getting paid at 14, 15. For some reason, when it comes to basketball, everybody's mad that the kids are getting paid. When it comes to NFL, everybody's pissed off that they're getting a couple bucks of NIL. So it's the story seems to change when the color of the players are a little different. And that's why I was talking about NIL. Anyway, beyond 5 million, there probably is not much lifestyle change. Yeah, probably not. They plan to destroy the USA. You're at war. They built concentration camps, called you enemies of the state. I don't know what's wrong with us, bro. We're kind of slow, man. But you see how the Nazis were able to take over Germany because the people fall asleep at the wheel, man. They fall asleep at the wheel because they think that they're okay. And the people who scream, "Don't tread on me," are getting treaded on daily and don't even notice it. And that's the crazy part. All right, man. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here today. I really appreciate everybody that's discussing and having the conversation with us. We'll be back here on Wednesday to talk about what's happened between today and Wednesday. Same old thing. If you liked it, you like what we're discussing, and you like being a part of the conversation, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and become a member, man. And it's not much to become a member, and you can get certain videos and clips that's just for you, and certain things that comes out that's going to be for just our members. And we'll get better as time goes on, but as we build a bigger membership group, it'll get better and better. We appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Peace.
Thanks for watching another episode of Habari Live. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and get updates on news, the podcast, and more. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And don't forget to visit www.habarientertainment.com. See you next week. Peace.